Hello everybody, Blue Dooley, and we're doing an ATS trucking video today. We're actually checking out two mods, a different Superliner mod and a trailer cargo mod for flatbed trailers. It kind of adds a little wider variety of cargoes to the game if you're hauling flatbed. So let's jump in, check them out. I'll shrink myself down here. Okay, so the Superliner we are running is by Dailin Wu, excuse me. And I picked this up off of the SCS forums, which is where you can find it as well. It has the Superliner 1 and 2 generations in it. You can do triaxle and a 4-axle setup. It's actually a really well done mod. I have a issue with it in my rear ends aren't showing up in my game, but that might be a mod conflict. I don't know. And then the other one, of course, is Mark's flatbed cargo variety. And it's got quite a few different cargoes on it so far. And the nice thing is you can easily find the modded loads in the market, because it'll actually show the load on your trailer, not just the image of the load by itself. So let's go ahead and jump in the game. Alright, jumped into a shop and we're in the customization for the truck. All you have are day cabs, and you have either the Superliner 1 or Superliner 2. Just kind of changes up the headlights a bit. Chassis configurations. Of course, you have the 240-inch wheelbase with the pusher, 199-inch wheelbase, and 181-inch wheelbase. Engines, we are running the 680 horsepower Mack E9 V8 tuned, which is the biggest Mack motor you can put in it. You can also get some more era appropriate engines. Transmissions, pretty good selection of transmissions. We're running the 13 speed, of course. There's 10 speed, 5 speed, and of course several different 18 speeds. 6 speed plus 5 reverse, and a couple of automatics, 12 speeds. Interior on this truck, you can do gray or brown. I went with the gray black and put the wood panels on the dash. Lots of animated gauges and switches, and the interior is just really well done on the truck. Pretty solid selection of paints you can choose from. And of course, bug shield, hood ornament, one grill. You can change your lights. I got the halos, which are kind of cool. Several bumper choices. And as you can see on this one, you can put quite a few accessories on it. Mirror. Hood blinkers, you can do stock or the LEDs, which I'm running LEDs on this truck. You can change your battery box and air tanks, the straps, the tanks itself. You can put steps or a hydraulic tank on it. I have a hydraulic tank on it as I was running that with the dump trailer. Fenders for your lift axle. Mud guards. A couple of different deck plate options. Exhaust. He did the exhaust kind of interesting. You changed the size, and then you can select the top, and the It just changes depending on what size you're running. You can do miters, eagle claws, straight, west coast, and it kind of changes how far out the curve twists. You can also change the heat guard, and you got a couple headache rack options. You have the dual scoops and the wind deflector. And a few sun visors and cabin lights, of course, which you can then select which lights you want, and that'll change depending on what mods you have installed. Interior, of course, your hanging items, driver's coplate, front mirrors, CB radio, you got one choice. Panels, you can do plastic or the wood grain. Gauges, plastic or chrome trim. A few steering wheels. Nothing super fancy, but you can change your air filters quite a bit. Unfortunately, not a lot of interior mods. So that's here. We'll back out of here. Yep. And then we are running a 53-foot quad axle, which I forgot to change the lug nuts on. So that looks kind of goofy. We're up in Seattle, and of course it's raining. Here's what the truck looks like from the outside. Really well modeled. I don't know why the game insists on running the lift axles down all the time. We'll jump inside. Again, just a really good looking truck. I'm really happy with the model itself. I didn't set my parking brakes. Oops. The sounds are really nice. And as I said, switches and things are animated. The light switches. All your park brake valves. Just a really well done mod. I'm a big fan of the Superliner, as I've mentioned in many videos. So we're going to set that there for now. We're going to jump over here to the job market and see what kind of jobs we can pick up here in Seattle. So the modified or the mod added loads, as I mentioned, show up on your trailer, like this one here, and then the stock in-game loads are just the picture of the load. So there's some concrete barriers. So we got not a ton of stuff. More concrete barriers. Got some pipes. Yeah, my Ogden's a little bit of a far. And that's even farther. So let's find us a little bit shorter run. Yeah, we'll go from Seattle to Yakima. Oops. Let's see, there's some tanks, since we're in just apparently the general wheels with Volvo rims. More big tires and tanks. Rails. Tires, so apparently I said it added a lot, but it doesn't look like it added a lot. Okay, so back to Seattle. Let's get the barriers and we'll go to Yakima. I believe you can also change the mirrors, so you can have painted mirrors, chrome mirrors, and then get the little fisheye mirrors. Probably don't have enough room to pull it behind him until he runs. Just going over here to the rail yard. Jake brake sounds nice. Scared the officer. Okay, we are loaded up. The concrete walls actually look pretty good. And thankfully it's not raining anymore. The only thing I did notice is with the flashers, for some reason the auxiliary lights come on with the flashers. Unless they're on. So how was everyone's week? Mine fairly uneventful, a little long, but nothing too outside the ordinary for me. Had to chain up everywhere I went, and did manage to have lunch at the shop with the builders, so that was kind of nice. 2 days this week, as usually I'm busy out running and don't get to have lunch with them that often. So that was a nice change of pace. Didn't go to Idaho Falls every day of the week. Also a nice change of pace. Coming. We're in an industrial zone. Get rid of the red light. But I was also glad to see the sun this week, as Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were pretty foggy, and all of last week was just absolutely foggy and couldn't see shit pretty much every day the week before. So some sunshine was much appreciated. I don't mind the fog too much, but it gets a little old after a while. A day or two of it's okay, but just did none of the light, I guess. But when you get up to week and a half of fog, that gets a little old. check it out. I definitely recommend popping on the channel and watching the latest snowplow update. I am really happy with the way that truck is turning out. So yes, very excited with the way the plow truck's coming out. Turning out, I should say. A little too cold this weekend to work on it out in the garage. The heaters can do all right if at least it's upper teens, 20s, but when it's single digits or gets down to 10 or colder, just don't have enough heat to keep it warm. Pleasant to work out there. I don't mind if it's a little cold, but when you're working with metal, it's nice to not have your fingers be freezing all the time, which this week had been really, really cold. So that's why we're in ATS, and I saw a video from Jeff on this mod and had to check it out, and then I was looking on Steam to see what was new. The trailer mod came up, so we're checking that out. So we can run back up to 60 now. Easy cars. Just hanging out. Getting towards the end of January, and I have ran 4,000 miles this month. This week was a little short compared to other weeks, but that's alright. I had to get some electrical work done on my trailer. The wires that run between the switch and the relay for the electric motor that runs the hydraulics on the trailer had corroded away to pretty much nothing, so they quit working. Needed to get that fixed. And then it appears, with all the snow we've gotten, and in my trip up to Haley, dragging it through all the snow banks, I got a chunk of ice in the brakes, and the trailer brakes were acting up a little. They were grabbing a little too soon, it seemed like. So had the mechanic check all my trailer brakes out just to make sure nothing was broken or still jammed up. So that turned out to be probably just a chunk of ice wedged in there. And that is why I generally have to chain up everywhere I go, especially when you get up north into the ski resorts and the smaller towns. You get into those residential areas and either the roads aren't plowed or they're not plowed very well, and they only run maybe one pass down the road. So if you're pulling a trailer, yeah, the truck will make the turn, but the trailer usually ends up in the snowbank from the plow. And if you're not chained up or have a fair bit of momentum, that trailer will get caught, and then that'll just drag the truck into the snowbank and get you stuck. Okay, why did the little car stop? That's kind of funny. 95,318. Actually didn't like driving from the exterior a little bit more than the interior. Yeah, those concrete rails are kind of cool. This particular setup, I'm running the truck with the pusher and then the quad axles on the trailer, is actually really common up here in the Idaho Pacific Northwest region. It's just a really common setup. Since he doesn't have any of the in-game headache racks on the truck, and I didn't really like the look of the logging racks, I put the header board on the front of the trailer, which most guys don't run. They have a headache rack on the tractor, but fairly common setup for around here. I see a lot of trucks running it, even the aero trucks like the Freightliner Cascadias and the T680s, I think are the new ones. I can't recall the Peterbilt aero truck model number off the top of my head, but yeah, even vans and reefer trailers, usually the ones that run up to Canada and some other places up north out here, have a pusher axle on the truck and then just 3 on the trailer if it's a van. So it is pretty common. Of course, my work truck, it's just standard 3-axle, and then we just have tandem axle trailers. But I enjoy pulling the flatbed, so that's what we're running with today. And that mod kind of adds a little more variety, as you saw, to the flatbed load market. I'd really like to see a little more variety, either from SCS or just mod loads. As the freight market for flatbed is kind of narrow in the game, and some of them don't make any sense. Like the forklifts only on the low boys. You could put a couple of forklifts on a regular flatbed like this and be just fine. You know, why these concrete blocks weren't in the game to begin with, that's a very common load. Maybe not common, but frequent, I guess you could say. Sorry, anybody behind me. Yakking and wasn't paying attention to my GPS. Kind of a short trip today, but that's all right. I do like the way he has the gear labeled in the truck, as you would go through the first 4 in low range, and then when you get to high range on the auxiliary, that's when you start splitting gears on the 13 speed. I don't think it's 60 through here. That seems a little fast. But then that's the big difference between a 8-speed, a 13-speed, and an 18-speed. The shift pattern's the same. The 13-speed, once you get into 5 through 8, you can split those gears, which is why we're in 5L. and 5 low. And depending on the transmission, it could be 5 direct and then 5 overdrive. Then you'd go 6 direct, 6 overdrive. The 18 speed, you split every gear if you need to. So you'd be first direct, or then first over, second direct, second over, all the way up. Which is a lot of unnecessary shifting in most modern trucks. And we're playing a game, so we're going to cheat and back from the outside. Hopefully not hang my trailer up like I did. Plus when you're outside the truck you can see it. I'm just going to pull all the way up here. Turn our flashers on, which looks silly with those lights. Yeah, that's kind of silly looking. Of course the horns sound good. I forgot to check. Will it let me? Yes. Will let me raise my axles. It's another detail the game kind of is missing. As I mentioned in other videos, you would raise those pushers and those tags, so you're not forcing the steer axles to steer even though you're trying to go back in a straight line. You just chew your tires up. Are we going to be able to sneak it over? Not really. Here we go. Concrete rails, short little trip. Kind of a short video, but I think that's alright. Let's turn off. Only went 157 miles, 21 gallons of fuel. And what can we take from here? We got some pipes we can do. And take the concrete barriers back to Seattle, I guess. Let's see. I don't think it probably... Oops. I don't want that one. I don't know if the mod affects the World of Trucks. Yeah, actually it does. Because there's one of the mod loads for the World of Trucks account. If you have that enabled. That's nice to see. A little more variety. Well, not a lot of variety, but some variety in the World of Trucks contracts. So there is a look at the Mack Superliner and a cargo mod for flatbeds. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I'm shaking my camera. As always, click like and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next video.